I'm Jeanette Keynes from Jewelry Arts Inc. In this video, I'm going to show you an alternative sweat soldering that in some scenarios I find works a whole lot better and easier. So we're getting ready to solder a thicker back sheet onto this. Oh, look how beautiful. This is going to be on a ring. And we did everything in 26 gauge, 22 karat, which for like a pendant, earrings, whatever, is totally fine. But sometimes if it's gonna be a ring and if it's gonna be like wide and extend over the shank a good bit, we'll actually do another back sheet. Like I usually use 20 karat and maybe, what is this, 22, 24 gauge? 24. Yeah, it's not like crazy thick, but it's just like a little chunkier, a little harder so that it won't get beat up. And we were talking before about the whole, I had Susie actually saw out the original back sheet from the inside. And of course, then the natural question is like, if we're already soldering a back sheet on to make it stronger, why in the fuck would you remove the original? The reason that we do that is what I have found from doing these over years and doing sweat soldering, blah, 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 is that the easiest way to do this is to remove the interior as much as humanly possible, and we're going to put the balls of solder on the inside of the bezel and we're going to heat from underneath. It's going to spread and fill beautifully. I mean, there's still occasions where I do the like classic, you know what I mean, sweat soldering, but I find for stuff like this, because I do a lot of this, I do a lot of highly granulated rings, you know, on relatively thin sheet, and then I've got to sweat solder them down to much heavier sheet so that it holds up. So I do this a lot, so I've tried many methods. You're gonna love mine. Another tricky thing is we have these granules at the edge, so we certainly don't want any solder going anywhere that we don't want it to go. We could add a little ochre or nocher. I think we're just gonna go with it the way it is, and if I have any inclination along the way that it's thinking about being naughty, then we will. But it's tricky to do that because it's very easy if you put nocher or ochre on those granules for it to get in the seam and then the solder won't flow. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go with it like this is, and I'm gonna keep my eye on it, okay? So I'm just gonna dip it in a little bit of paste flux. I'm gonna set it up on here. I've already got some 20 karat solder all nice and balled up right there, ready to go. Oh, and I also will change my torch tip because we want either a 1 or a 2. We want really like a nice fat one. You know, you have to make sure that there's flux underneath, like it has to be, you know, relatively clean and flux there because we need the solder to want to run underneath there. So I'll dry it off with this, and then I'm gonna switch out to something bigger and more robusto.
That's a lot of flux.
Yeah, I was fairly generous because I wanted to be certain that it's all fluxed underneath there. You know, we don't want any sort of little dry patches because I want the solder to flow, you know, totally underneath there. Okay. And scene. So essentially what I've done, I balled up my solder, I dipped in a little paste flux, you know, I dried this off, and I put 5 pieces of solder in there, and they're not, Susie was asking me before, like they're not super tiny because this is not just soldering a bezel to a back sheet, there's also the flat sheet with the granules on top. So if you're visualizing the area that you're filling, it's not super dainty. You know what I mean? There's,
right, like a bezel.
But this to me, it's like, it's a good amount, we'll do it. And a lot of times students get kind of caught up in like, oh no, there's a hole or I have to add more. It's like, that's very normal. You know, if I'm soldering some little tiny thing on, one shot will often do it. But when you're filling in between things or stuff like that, it's extremely common. Like when I do mine with the big fancy rings, that's not in one shot. You do it, you do as much as you can in one, but you're gonna probably end up doing that a few times. That's normal, to be expected, nothing to be alarmed about, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna kind of like add this. If it fills in one try, then, you know, yay us, but it's very common that you have to do it a couple times. I'm gonna use a 2, which is enormous, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna kind of keep it down here. Because basically we were deciding before, I'm like, do I want a 1 or what do I want a 2? And then I'm like, but what do we always do when we have a question? Go with the bigger tip. like I said, you can't get in there with a big thing like this and be like right underneath there. You know, like maybe down here. Okay. You just hear Susie. Oh my God. Okay. So I'm gonna actually turn that down a smidge because I want this to just be like right underneath. I'm gonna turn it down a smidge more. I don't want it, there we go. I don't want it too much of it above the height of the piece itself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want it to form a cone around the piece. That might be a little too much. So you see the flux, right? And just watch the solder. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, 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 oh. Look along the side. Did you get a beautiful flow? I mean, I haven't looked at every single spot.
It looks good.
That's why you do it like this. It works so well. Because the tricky thing about sweat soldering, you know, which is, you know, you put the solder in there and whatever, is that the solder itself tends to hold the piece up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it can be very hard to get it to like lay flat enough, and then like part of it melts and you're like pushing on. It can be problematic. Of course, sometimes you need to do it, but this method is the shit. And we'll pickle it, of course, and double check. And, you know, like if there are any little spaces, we'll put more solder. But to me, you see what I'm saying? Like it just flowed underneath there, like so smooth and beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So that's the way I like to do it. So we'll pickle it, we'll take a close look at it, and we'll see what's what. But that's why I do it like that, because you've got those small areas there, so the capillary action wants to pull the solder. But you don't have the risk out here very much because it's coming from underneath here. You know, if you add it from the outside, which we were talking about before, like I can, but it's much easier to kind of mess it up when you do that if you have granules, because like you're pushing the piece of solder and oh no, you know what I'm saying? So I like to add from the inside because any messiness will be hidden underneath the stone. Point. We're talking about how it's very common that sometimes you have to add more and that's no big deal. Where would you add it? In the same fucking place you started with. You know what I mean? It's really important. Keep using that so that you don't have messy cleanup. You know, when people are like, oh, well, then where should I put it? Put it in the same spot. No one's ever